They used to play on the back of my trampoline. Just the morning before, they were outside playing, laughing. It looked like they were maybe chasing each other, like having fun, just like normal kids.
I just remember just seeing the little girl in her little pigtails kind of bouncing around before running, and her brother riding on his bike.
Hi, I'm Tina.
No, Tina, Mommy.
Okay, I'm Tina Mommy, sorry. And who are you?
Iliyah.
Okay, how old are you, Iliyah?
2.
2, okay. And today we're gonna sing a song. Bittersweet memories, that is all I am taking with me, so goodbye.
A Northwest Charlotte neighborhood is still in shock tonight after a double murder.
It's at the core of this investigation what would cause somebody obviously to be so despondent that they would want to take their own life and then take the lives of their children.
In a suburban home in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 healthy, happy children played on the streets. They rode bikes, jumped on trampolines, and chased each other around the neighborhood until their mom called them inside. On the outside, they looked like a normal family enjoying a good day out, but later that evening, the 2 children would be lying on the floor of their living room with fatal wounds on their tiny bodies. Their mom on a bridge, ready to end it all. This is the case of the mother who killed her children and jumped off a bridge.
I will say, she snapped. Normal people don't do that.
It was Saturday, January 13th, 2018, and a family of 4 woke up a little later than usual. Their week is usually so chaotic that they prefer to sleep in on the weekends. The mom, Christina Treadway, woke up first, her boyfriend, Antoine Miller, still asleep. She treaded softly across the hallway to her kids Isaiah and Aliyah's rooms and opened the door quietly to find them still asleep, soft snores coming from their bodies. She smiled and closed the door gently. She went straight to the kitchen to tidy up yesterday's mess and prepare for the new day. Christina began to get breakfast ready for the entire family. She took special care with the kids' meals. She wanted to make it special for them, not just because it was a Saturday, but because something big was happening on that day. Something that was about to shake the entire city of North Carolina to its core.
Just the morning before, they were outside playing, laughing. It looked like they were maybe chasing each other, like having fun, just like normal kids.
That is, until Saturday night, when everything changed.
After Christina was done making breakfast, she went to wake her kids up. She sang to them as they slowly woke up, and smiles filled their faces as they opened their eyes to see their mom looking at them. She got the children up and told them to go brush their teeth, and she went to wake her boyfriend. Before long, the once quiet house was filled with chaos as children ran around the house with boundless energy. Christina managed to get them settled in, and they enjoyed their big breakfast as a family. After breakfast, Christina sent the kids outside to play while she tidied up the house. It wasn't easy having kids, but she loved it, and she could never imagine anyone else being a parent to her kids. Christina was a great mom. She completely adored her kids so much and did everything she could to make sure they had a good life. She worked hard to give them every opportunity she never had, including sports and singing lessons. Christina loved to sing. In a different life, she would have been in LA with the big stars, belting out tunes that made our hearts sing. But in this life, she settled for singing in the shower and to her kids. And that day was no different. As she tidied up the kitchen, she sang and hoped the heaviness in her heart would go away, but it didn't. It hadn't for a while, and she was tired of feeling this way. She longed for the days before darkness filled her heart and hung over her every waking moment. She longed for days when the smile on her face came from her heart and not a plastered-on attempt at hiding her true feelings. She wanted desperately to feel light again, and she knew what she had to do to make the darkness stop. She knew her friends and family would be confused and hurt by what she was about to do, but she didn't see any other way to make it stop. She cleaned up the house and went to watch the kids play. She watched them ride their bikes and scooters up and down the streets, laughing and egging each other on. She eventually called them in to get ready for the day, and they reluctantly left their bikes outside and made their way inside, looking back longingly at their bikes. They wanted to continue playing outside, but they thought they'd come back later when they were done getting ready. They never did.
Just yesterday, they were playing on those scooters and bikes. Now, they're just junk, kind of.
Christina and the kids showered and got ready for the day. Her boyfriend, Antoine, had also gotten ready and was heading out to spend time with his friends. He kissed his kids and partner goodbye. Unfortunately for Antoine, that would be the last time he ever saw his kids alive. Once their dad was gone, Christina and the kids spent time with each other in the living room. They played, sang, and laughed. She wanted to make that day very special for them. She wanted it to be the happiest day of their lives. And she did exactly that. She sang to them, drew funny-looking animals with them, made lunch, and told them stories. Though the day was light and the kids were happy, a dark cloud hung over all of them. Christina was about to do something so horrific it would send chills down the spine of the most hardened of criminals.
A Northwest Charlotte neighborhood is still in shock tonight after a double murder. Police believe that Christina Treadway killed her 3-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son. It happened last night on the 2100 block of Sebastiana Drive. Officials say Treadway then took her own life, jumping off of a bridge onto I-485 right near her house.
The once quiet neighborhood in Northwest Charlotte became filled with police cars and crime scene investigation vans as officers piled into the Miller home in their numbers to figure out what led Christina to commit such horrible acts. The neighbors walked out of their homes, curious as to what was going on, their faces frozen in shock as officers relayed the events of the day to them. They could not believe that the joyful family they knew was now completely altered forever.
I was shocked, because they never seemed like they were sad or anything.
It was hard. It was really hard. I just remember just seeing the little girl and her little pigtails kind of bouncing around with her running, and her brother riding on his bike.
As the officers scrambled to find answers, the small neighborhood was racked with questions. What could have happened to have made her snap? And who exactly was Christina? Because the woman they knew would never have done something that terrible. Christina Treadway was born on November 8, 1984, in Fullerton, California. Her birth mom gave her away, but she was quickly adopted by her loving parents, Al and Patricia Treadway. The Treadways loved Christina from the very moment they laid their eyes on her. They knew she would complete their family, and they did everything possible to make sure that she never once felt the absence of her birth mother. Christina, in turn, repaid them by being the best child. She was almost like the perfect child. She went to bed when she was told, and she did everything she was supposed to do when she was asked to do them. She was also a happy child, constantly making jokes and laughing. If she wasn't doing her homework, she was singing to the family. She didn't present to her family as a child who had troubles or required special attention.
Christina's mother, Patricia Treadway, spoke about her daughter, pointing out that Christina never showed any signs of being depressed and that she loved her children.
She's never had a mental problem. We never had a problem with Christina in any shape or form.
Fast forward to 2006, Christina, now a 24-year-old woman, moved from the city of Fullerton, California to Charlotte in North Carolina. A year after Christina moved to Charlotte, she met a man named Antoine Miller. Antoine and Christina quickly hit it off and discovered they had a lot of things in common. Even in the areas where they weren't similar, they seemed to complement and balance each other out. For instance, while Antoine had found his dream job and was pretty much settled and focused, Christina kind of moved from job to job. It wasn't because she wasn't focused. No, on the contrary, she was pretty focused. But none of those jobs made her happy or fulfilled her. Her dream did not lie in retail or any of the other jobs she had to make ends meet. Her dream was on the stage, singing to millions of people as they screamed her name. Christina wanted to be a big star, the likes of Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, but she wasn't getting her big break. Once social media kicked off, Christina opened a YouTube channel where she sang covers of big hits in hopes that she would be discovered by a record company from LA and her dreams would come true. But that wasn't happening. Christina wasn't deterred though. She continued to sing covers on YouTube and write music in the background. While all that was going on, her relationship with Antoine progressed. They were getting serious now, and Antoine was planning a trip for them to go to Ohio and attend a game. But life had other plans. Shortly before they left for their trip, Christina found out she was pregnant. Though they were not planning for a child at that moment, they embraced the idea of their family expanding. They had become very serious, and they knew they would spend the rest of their lives together, so it was okay that the rest of their lives started sooner than they had planned. The Ohio trip went into the background as they prepared to welcome their first child. But as she planned for her son, Christina held on to hope that her dreams would still come true. Soon, Isaiah Miller was born. Isaiah made them into a family of 3. He was showered with all the love possible by Christina, Antoine, and the grandparents. To Christina, no other baby had been loved this much. Christina often sang to Isaiah anytime he got fussy or couldn't sleep. She would pretend she was singing to an arena filled with people instead of her infant son who couldn't sleep. But as he stared at her in awe of her voice, Christina began to slowly let go of those dreams.
Hey, baby.
She settled into motherhood perfectly, and 3 years after Isaiah was born, Christina would become pregnant again, this time with a little girl. Christina was very excited to have a little girl just like her, and before long, in December 2014, the family of 3 were joined by Iliyah Miller, and they became a beautiful family of 4. Iliyah and Isaiah were inseparable. With only 4 years between them, Isaiah saw himself as a protective big brother, and Iliyah loved him. Isaiah wanted to help Iliyah do everything, and he would beg his parents to let him hold her, even when she was a baby. As she grew up, they got even closer, to the point of referring to each other as best friends.
Okay, Isaiah, what's your favorite food?
Pineapple.
What's your favorite food, Liyah?
Grapes.
Ooh, nice choice. Isaiah, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Red. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Ooh, that's a good color. Okay. Liyah, can you tell me who your best friend is?
Siga.
Aw. Zay, can you tell me who your best friend is?
Liyah.
Are you just saying that because she's hugging you? That's your best friend? Oh, that's adorable.
2 years later, in 2016, the family moved to Orlando, Florida, where Isaiah was enrolled in Rosamond Elementary. Isaiah would be a star student in school with perfect attendance and certificates of outstanding behavior. The Millers spent only a year in Orlando before moving back to Charlotte, North Carolina. It is unclear why they left in the first place. At this point, it seemed like Christina had a perfect family with a loving partner and 2 beautiful, well-behaved children whom she loved with all her heart. In July 2017, Christina posted a heartfelt video on her YouTube channel, wishing her partner a happy birthday. She captioned the post with, "My love for you is so big, it has reached all over the world." But while everything seemed perfect on the outside, there was a lot of pain and darkness lurking just below the surface. Darkness that would rear its head in the most horrific way possible. Though Christina hid the darkness from everyone she knew, including her partner, she would leave subtle clues on her social media. On June 7th, 2017, she posted a message on her Facebook page that read, "Life said, Tina, you're too happy right now," and slapped me across the face. Although the message looked like Christina just had a bad day, her reality was much worse. Christina was slowly sinking into depression, but no one noticed. Amidst the millions of posts daily on Facebook, Christina's cry for help went unnoticed.
Today I'm gonna do the hot pepper.
Okay, that's enough, that's enough, that's enough.
Today I'm gonna do the hot pepper challenge. It's in my hand.
Okay.
And I got a cup of water if it gets super spicy. I already know it's gonna get super spicy.
Keep going.
Let's do this. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Pray for me, guys. Everybody, my whole family.
Alright, just do it. Ew.
You see, from the outside, Christina looked happy, so many people likely chucked her post up to her having one bad day, rather than seeing the truth behind the post. But Christina wasn't done leaving clues. On December 18, 2017, she put up another post that suggested her life was taking a much darker turn. "Had the worst week of my life. 2018, time to make some big changes," her post read. To anyone seeing that post, it would have seemed like Christina was talking about maybe losing some weight or making some behavioral changes. Little did they know, it was something much more horrific. Christina's second cry for help would also go unnoticed. After all, it was almost Christmas and most people were preoccupied with doing their holiday shopping, planning Christmas dinners, or getting family together for the season. December is the season to be jolly, so no one saw Christina's pain hiding behind all the smiles she shared with people. The Miller family celebrated this Christmas like every other Christmas. They hid gifts under the Christmas tree and told the kids Santa brought them because they were good. They sang, were merry, and they enjoyed hearty meals with friends and family. They had no idea that come New Year's, their lives would be shattered forever.
It just seems to be a loving family, just a typical family. You know, on the outside looking in, it's nothing that I could ever say that anything was wrong.
But something was very much wrong, and no matter how hard Christina tried, it wasn't going away. January 6, 2018, as the Millers celebrated New Year's and hoped for the best year of their lives, Christina took to social media to post one final cry for help. This one, a little less subtle than the rest, but just like the ones before, it too would be drowned out by the noise of social media. Christina uploaded a photo on Facebook of a head with several mental illnesses written in it. It seemed to represent a person suffering from mental illness. The photo was pretty straight to the point, actually. Its intention, a desire to be heard. The response, dead silence. Only a week after Christina posted the photo to Facebook, Christina would do the unthinkable. On January 13, 2018, at around 5:40, Charlotte Mecklenburg police officers were called to Interstate 485. A woman was about to jump off the highway bridge into traffic. Officers quickly drove there, but by the time they got there, it was too late. Christina was dead on impact. They proceeded to cordon off the area so they could begin their investigation. Even though it was apparent that she had taken her own life, they still needed an investigation to rule out foul play and to figure out what had led her to do such a thing. Unbeknownst to the officers, they were about to uncover more horror. They photographed the scene and collected crime scene evidence, but during their investigations, the officers discovered something that would lead them to go to Christina's home for further investigations. They had already identified who she was, so they headed to her home for a follow-up investigation, but what they found sent shockwaves through their bodies.
Police say 34-year-old Christina Treadway assaulted her 2 children and then killed herself by jumping off the bridge over I-485. Police say Isaiah and Iliyah died at the hospital.
After the horrific scene at the Miller home, officers tracked down Antoine Miller. They found that he had been at his friend's house and had nothing to do with the chilling events. Antoine immediately went into shock. He had no idea that Christina was hurting, and all he had was a text message she sent minutes before she took her own life, telling him that she loved him, she was sorry, and that she was going to end it all and the kids. The text seemed odd to Antoine at the time, but after officers tracked him down, it all made shocking sense. The police scrambled to look for answers. How could a seemingly happy woman decide to hurt her kids and then jump off a bridge, ending her own life? It was a very confusing case for the officers in charge, because nothing seemed to add up.
Police taped off the house, investigating what led to the deaths of the 2 children who lived inside, and a mother's death on I-485.
That's at the core of this investigation, what would cause somebody obviously to be so despondent that they would want to take their own life and then take the lives of their children.
And the police weren't alone in their confusion. Residents of Sebastiani Drive were also filled with doubts. Something had to have been going on, because just the day before, they saw a picture-perfect family playing around the neighborhood and enjoying the blessings of suburban life. What officers told them about what Christina had done just didn't make sense.
We still don't have any idea what led up to this tragedy. Neighbors say that they just saw the children playing outside yesterday afternoon, and they didn't have any idea that anything was wrong until police started filling their streets.
But a message Christina left on Facebook would provide some clarification into why she did what she did, at least as it relates to the children. She left a message for her parents on Facebook, apologizing for what she was about to do, with instructions to delete it after they read it.
To forgive her and just pretend like she was still 3,000 miles away happy. Part of the message that she left for us said that she couldn't leave her children without a mother and that no one else would ever raise her kids.
Although they now have some explanation as to why she ended her kids' lives as she did, Christina's family was still very much confused about why she did it all in the first place. You see, like she had done to everyone else, Christina had managed to fool her parents too. All they saw was a happy mother and partner. They never saw the pain behind her eyes.
Did you ever think that your daughter could do something like that?
No, not in a million years.
In an attempt to seek answers for why Christina would end her life, Christina's family turned the blame on Antoine, accusing him of hurting Christina and fostering an unsafe space for his family. Antoine denied the allegations. He loved Christina, and like everyone else, he never saw beyond the smile.
Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to Christina's death and the death of her 2 children. Her parents are willing to wait as long as it takes to get those answers.
I would rather have them investigate and investigate and investigate and find out exactly what happened.
With knowing what Christina had done comes regret. Her family wished they had known that she wasn't okay. They would have helped her.
If she was hurting that bad, I wish she would have called me that day.
The horror that struck 2100 Sebastiani Drive, Northwest Charlotte, North Carolina, is not one that can be forgotten anytime soon. Hey, thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you know of other similar cases? Let me know in a comment. And before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. See you next time, and stay safe.